in covering this covering this incredible season of The Amazing Race. And yes, I said incredible. It's incredible for a lot of reasons, but not for the reasons you may be thinking, or not for the reasons you may not be thinking about what you're thinking about, when you should be thinking about what you actually are thinking about. So think about that while we get into it here. How's everybody feeling? All right. All right. There's a lot to talk about on this episode. So, first off, we got the two teams. Hey, what's going on in chat? Let's see. Let's say what's up in chat. We got Mark Peters, of course. Jennifer. What's going on, Jeff? Tim. Ryan. Kayanashi. I'm going to butcher your name. Sorry. Nikki, of course, hanging out. How's everybody feeling? All right. So the first thing that we got to talk about is how this race starts. When the way starts, it starts in a really interesting way. Now, Natalie and Stephanie and Jas and Jag are 1 minute away from each other, followed by about 13 minutes from Eric and Tucker, and then an hour for fourth place, and then a half hour after that for fifth and sixth place, and then another hour after that, and then another hour after that, and then so like 5.5 hours separated first and second from last. 5.5 hours. Like, this is crazy, the amount of non-bunch points that we've had this season. It's bonkers that there's not been really any bunch points this season. And it's showing, because there's a clear front of the pack, middle of the pack, back of the pack, and it's so hard for anybody to catch up. We get one, maybe two from people getting really, really lost or getting lucky with a task, or finding a task that's really good. Like on this one, the dancing task really helped one team and get ahead of a bunch of others. It's Natalie's birthday. They're starting off in first place. Everything is good. They start off with two options. Take the fast train. All right, let's see. Hold on in chat. Let's go. What's up, chat? What's up, chat? Let me get a... Hold on. Can I create a poll? Let's start a poll. Would you take the 1 hour lead and connect with no sleep, really? Oh. Or sleep straight through for 1 hour behind. All right, so here you go. 1 hour lead, sleep, and straight through. All right, so which one? All right, there you go. There's your polls. Can I just start the poll? Why can't I start the poll? Why can't I start a poll? The question is too long. All right, 1 hour. All right. 1 hour lead or sleep. All right, is that too long? Must contain one. Oh, your mother's tasty. I don't know. There you go. There's your poll. Anyway, go if you're. That worked out so well, so smooth, because that's just kind of how I am. Super smooth is the way I roll, basically. All right, so check it in chat. Would you take the 1 hour lead and have to switch trains, not get much sleep? Or would you get some sleep and fall 1 hour behind, but guaranteed to get there straight through? Don't have to worry about any shenanigans of missing possible connections or trains getting canceled like happened in the past. So answer the poll. It's in chat right now, and I'll tell you mine, what I think about it in just a second. So you get a direct train, it gets you there at 8:30, and you get to sleep, or you get a fast train connect, gets you there at 7:28. All right. So Izzy brushed that crew. Okay, so the whole first crew that started the race: Natalie, Stephanie, Jas, Jag, Eric, Tucker, Joseph, Adam, Hannah, Simone, like they all kind of came over and wanted to speak with Izzy and Paige, and Izzy kind of brushed them off. Izzy's running her own game. Respect, much respect, girl. I like that you're running your own game. So, so Izzy brushed them off. The bottom three plus Rabina, Christina. Rabina and Christina had the option, and they're the only team that took the option to sleep. Everybody else took the option to give up sleep to get an hour lead. They're the only one that actually had the choice and decided to go the other way. The other three didn't really have the choice because they were too late. So they had to take that last train. So there's now 4 teams that are sort of separated now. Instead of 3 packs, they're separated into 2 packs. The team getting there at the 7:30 and the 4 teams getting there at 8:30. All right. Sorry about that. So this is the bunch point. And the thing that stinks is the bunch point right before this weird task, which I didn't. This task was pointless. This thermal bath task. I don't know what. Something was just weird about this. It just seemed pointless. It was like 3 different chess matches through the whole entire thing. So there wasn't even any like, oh, I got to search through 20, 30 chess matches to find. No, not really. And the thing about it, having a bunch point like that is like when one person finds it, everybody else sees that person and then just runs right over to where that person is. So I hated this challenge. This was not a good challenge on my did not like that challenge at all. So that was not the way. That was not a good challenge. I did not like it. All right, so a bunch point right before that. There's 3 chessboards. Terrible task. Everyone saw the other team, so they're just following. It was really pointless. It wasn't really that beautiful to look at. It was. If you want to show culture, there's other ways to show culture. It was an excuse to display the physique of Joseph, Tucker, and Eric. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. An hour lead, take an hour lead. You can't win if you take an overnight train. That's right. We'll see. Time is of the essence. Given I heard the multi-connection one had reasonable layover connections that it made sense. If the connections were tighter, then the calculus might have been different. Okay, so there's just because there's a lot of time doesn't mean that they won't be running late or something will happen. But that I get it. There's a lot of time, so that makes more sense. It was aka the beefcake. I don't know what you were saying. There should have been several chessboards, definitely. I didn't get the point of the hot springs test. Me either. Eye candy. Okay, so if they're going for eye candy, that's cool. Like, I'm not going to complain seeing Natalie in a bathing suit, right? But there's definitely a lot of hot guys this season with bodies that are just insane. But as maybe some of them didn't make it. We'll see how this one ended. It seemed like it was just a point to check on the teams. I saw, yeah, but if it was going to be that, then send them to a place where they could possibly get lost. Nobody really got lost. Everybody just followed each other. I don't know. Right before bunch point, that was just weird. They should do that and then go to a bunch point if they wanted to. But I don't know. All right, so teams must make their way to this other place. Like, I don't know the name. Tucker and Eric don't help the other one, so they get this chess piece and they got to screw the bottom open. But it says in the clue that to twist it or to search it or whatever. So if you read the clue, it tells you. So Tucker and Eric figured it out real quick. Didn't help Jas and Jag, which I loved. The damn alliance is not running tight right here. Jas and Jag expected help, but they didn't get it. So they took them a couple minutes. They reread the clue. They figured it out. The other group is asking about a famous king statue. So that other group that was working together follows the herd mentality. So you don't really think about for yourself. You just follow whoever comes up with the first idea and follow it. That's the problem with herd mentality rather than trying to think on your own or just rereading your clue. You're going to trust in someone else rather than just rereading your clue. If you were alone, the first thing you want to do is reread your clue, right? But no, you're going to herd mentality, trust someone else. Well, if they get it wrong, at least there's 3 of us getting it wrong. No, run your own damn race. Snow Caps, if you want to sponsor me, let's go. Sponsor me. That's the chocolate of my choice. All right. So Natalie and her sister figure it out while measuring while messing with the king. They just pick it up and start twisting it and messing with it, and they figure it out without rereading the clue. So messing with it, they did a good job. All right, let's get to the fun part. Rubik's Cube. Rubik's Cube. All right. People say you got to get a Rubik's Cube in 7 seconds, and everybody's just going to be like, hell no. Right? Nobody on earth is going to get it in 7 seconds, except these super guys. Right? But then if you read further into it, it's 6 steps. 5 steps. You just have to remember 5 steps. And each one of the 5 steps is the same. Turn twice. You just have to remember which one to turn. So there is 5 steps. Yeah, let me show you guys on screen. It seems pretty simple to me. It seems very simple. The 7 seconds seemed like the hard part. And I could totally get that. Like if you want to say like, hey, dude, come on. The 7 seconds seemed like a hard part. And I got that. I got that. All right, I can't really show you right now. Actually, I probably can. I probably can. Let's just do it. Let's do it. Window. Open up a window. I'll show you what it looks like right here. You can see what I'm talking about when if you zoom in right here. Bam, bam, bam. All right. There you go. So there it is. It's right there. You can see it's and don't be pausing it and trying to look at my bookmarks, you freaks. Trying to guess what I like, all my bookmarks and stuff. All right. So here it is. So it's 5 moves. Step 1, you turn the middle 2 times. All right. Step 2, you turn the middle on the other side 2 times. So you turn this on the side 2 times, then you turn the middle on the top 2 times. And then the next one, you turn the bottom 2 times. The one after that, you turn the top 2 times. Then you do it the other way. You turn the top 2 times, and then you're done. So that's it. So it's middle, bottom, top on the other side. Middle, bottom, top, done. And you just had to do both of them twice. Middle, and just like as long as you boom, 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 as long as you find that rhythm, I think that'd be pretty easy to get. Eric and Tucker, for the fast forward, I think they did a really good job. I think they crushed it. I would have loved to see this head to head. That's when I think the timer would have really come into play and people nervous under pressure going at it, you know, one at a time with each other, going side by side, talking about, not going side by side. I think that'd have been really interesting if they were able to do that. Hey, don't get too big. Don't get too big for your britches. So right now, it's 69% of people would take the lead. I'm surprised that 31% of my viewers would actually think to take the 1 hour, to fall behind and take the sleep. Never. Always, listen, always get any advantage that you could possibly get on this amazing race. Any chance you get. Sometimes it's 5 minutes that separates you from winning. All right, so it's pretty easy to figure this out. But I like this as a roadblock. I wish it would have been a head-to-head roadblock on people going side by side to see how that would have played out. I think that would have been really fun to watch. I think that would have been really cool to watch how that would have played out. All right. Okay. So we do have to talk about the elephant in the room. All right. Amazing Race could have done without the fast forward this time. Too easy. You knew one of the front teams was going to get it. No way. There was no way that was too easy. At first, you have to try it. But there's no way that you solve a Rubik's Cube and you're like, oh, that's going to be too easy. You have to get there and see it to kind of be like, okay, I can get this. But you solve a Rubik's Cube and you think it's going to be easy? No way, Jose. Get out of town. I'm not buying it. All right, teams must make their way to the hey there. What do you say there? So Jas and Jag try to get a taxi to stop. And Jas and Jag cannot get a taxi to stop at all. And there is some like political drama from one side and then in the other side. there about the refugees, and the refugees in that country happen to be Muslims who were, I think Turkish Muslims, or Czech, whatever, something like that. And there's a big, half of the population is very like get out of the country type of, and that's how they feel about it. So they had a hard time getting taxis, and through this whole leg, they had to actually work around that, taking trains and buses. So public transportation is they had to take. So I feel bad for them, and that stinks. It stinks that they had to. They couldn't get a taxi until they put their hoods up to hide the turbans, which kind of stinks. All right. That sucks that they had to deal with that. And I'm glad that they persevered through that. Just like I'm so happy that Krista and Tiffany persevered through all the guys trying to grab their ass while they were running through India. Troopers. So Kylan and Taylor get lost. And they end up in last place right now. Even though Jess and Jag can't find a cab, Kylan and Taylor still find a way to get lost and end up in last. All right, let's get to the good stuff. The roadblock, horse-drawn coach. Now, this one I was like, I don't really see how a team can pass another one because it seems pretty straightforward. Like the horse probably knows this course. The horse knows a course, of course. That the horse knows a course, of course. According to ChatBCC, I have to check that more. They invited me to that. I accepted. I haven't checked out. Was that like a big thing now? Joseph and Adam had similar issues because they kind of look very similar. Their complexion. They got that like goldeny complexion, Middle Eastern golds, like. But that stinks. That stinks that anybody had to go through that. All right, let's get to the roadblock. So we got Simone, Izzy, Jack, Jag, Joseph, Alec, Christine, Kyland, and Natalie. All right. So Izzy rode horses when she was a kid, so she should have a clear advantage because being around horses and being comfortable around horses is important because animals can feel the tension. And understanding that to lead a horse and to give them the reins when they need the reins, to pull the reins when you need it, left and right. That's important, especially, you can learn it pretty quick, but you should be comfortable if you grew up with kids. So expected her to nail it, right? But who comes out and nails it? Natalie. Natalie's pretty beastly in this one. She beasted on her second try. Very impressive. It took Izzy, even though she grew up doing it, 5 tries to get it done. Which is respectable, but like very impressed with Natalie. Good for her. That confidence of being in the lead. It's your birthday. She got it done. All right, the second group catches up right after Natalie and Stephanie are done. So that hour somehow that just is gone. Is that from a whole bunch of people trying, a whole bunch of people learning stuff? It's just crazy that an hour's gone. Yeah, it's getting kind of big. They're posting every episode in there. All right, I guess I'll check it out. ChatBCC is a godsend after CBS stopped the insider clips. A horse is a horse, of course. Laughs and Magyar. All right, I'll start posting in there. They made me one of the mods or whatever. I don't know. I'm cool. All right, if everybody's in there, I'll start posting. I got a lot of ideas. And if they do like, is it live chat? So like when the episode on, can I post live, or is that going to be like, hey, you're annoying, stop doing that? Is that what is that how you know what I mean? Is everybody doing it? Is everybody doing it? Is that how it's running? Is everybody doing it? I don't know. Is everybody doing it? Come on. Jackson fart. All right. So, All right, the second group catches up. We got Jas and Jag. They said they used to drive semi trucks, so that should give them a little bit of an advantage, understanding the way that things turn, the wide turns, etc., etc. They got it on their fifth attempt, so it didn't get them any much advantage because fifth attempt seems to be the one that most teams got it. Izzy, Jas and Jag, Joseph, Alex all got it on their fifth attempt. Simone was absolutely the worst at this one. She got it on her 10th attempt. Simone, absolute worst at this one and absolute best at the next one, which is crazy. How they, even though they were finished in 10th with this one, you'll see how fast they caught up and how and what being really good at one task can do for you. Jack got it on his third try. Christine on her seventh try. Kyland would have got it on his first try if he didn't just stop. He would have nailed it on his first try, but he gave up. Never give up. Just keep going. He got it on the second try, no problem, and it wound up passing 4 teams because of how fast he got it. Because he got right back in line and did it right after. Because there was nobody. I don't know if there was anybody right after or one person right after, but he got right back in line and he did it. All right. So good for Kylan. First time I'm actually seeing them, excel and do something really good, especially after they're getting lost in the beginning of the episode. So this next part, this House of Houdini, the only thing that happened here is one team broke their key. Jas and Jag, and they actually have to take a train after this. Jas and Jag have to take a train. Hold on. Yeah. Jas and Jag have to take a train to avoid the racist cabs again, but this task is pretty much a waste of time. Adam and Joseph broke their key. That was the only drama that happened, but other than that, it was pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. Find it. The only thing hard was like the box, but if you just twisted it or moved the box enough, it eventually just slid off. So you would find it by accident, if nothing else, which a couple teams did. Kind of pointless. They wanted to show Houdini. I think they could have done a lot better to show off Houdini's. Yeah, that's not good. All right, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so that's two pretty bad tasks that, I mean, even if they did it, I probably would have edited it out and just left other things in, because it seems like it could have been a lot of fun at the other tasks with teams talking behind the scenes or whatever it is. They probably should have left more of that in. So let's get to the detour. Would you be juggling or would you be balancing? Juggling or balancing? Juggling or balancing? All right, end the poll. We ended the poll. You guys posted the results. There you go. 67% would take the hour lead. 33% would take the sleep, fall an hour behind, but get good sleep. So we got 33% of the teams would be considered losers. Because you're not playing to win. Yeah, I said it there. I said it. Called his fans a bunch of losers. Called the people watching the show like, what kind of host are you? You are one pathetic loser host, is what you are. Can't say that about your fans. I love you know how much I love you. All right, so we got Izzy and Paige. All right, so this dancing, you got a dancing challenge, which is kind of like a balancing challenge, and a juggling challenge. Which one would you have taken? Dancing challenge, juggling challenge. How does Natalie not know how to juggle? How does Natalie not know what juggling is? I think she knows what juggling is, but she didn't understand what she needed to do with two people. I didn't think she could visually see it. I don't see her being like a circus person. I like Miss Negrati, but that was sad. Yeah, it was pretty interesting that she said that. I was like, well, what are you talking about? But I'm glad that her sister didn't clown her. She just told her what to do. You know what I'm saying? So that was pretty good for them. They did, let's see. So Adam and Joseph, that was pointless. All right, we got to the next one. So let's get to balancing act, juggling act. I would have been fine with either. The dancing challenge, like you would think the dancing challenge is going to be the one that separates a lot of teams. So if you've watched this season, if you've watched seasons in the past, you're probably thinking like, I'm not going for that dancing challenge. Like, no, there's too many teams have gotten eliminated with the dancing challenge. Way too many teams have got eliminated with the dancing challenge. So let me go with the juggling challenge. And you just say, hey, I got to go 10. I got to get 10. And I like the way that Kylan and Taylor did it. I like their mindset. So Natalie and Stephanie Natalie is like a dancer, cheerleader, so she should nail it easier. Her sister, not so much. But Natalie seems to take her and make it seems to be a little harder for Natalie to get it. So they wind up getting it on their 5th try. I'm sorry, my allergies are messing with me today. All right, we got Izzy and Paige nailed the dance on their first try. I was super impressed with Izzy and Paige. Would never, if you would have told me, here's the teams, all the teams that are doing this, give me the top 5 teams that wouldn't possibly nail it on the first try, they would not be in the 5 teams that I would even guess. Super impressed. I'm so impressed. I know she's a music major, so that should have just made sense that she's got a natural rhythm, but music is different than dance, you know. Jess and Jag nail the dance on their 6th attempt and then take the bus to avoid the taxis. Kat starts crying before the dance, during the dance, after the dance. So 3 separate times during this task, even though she's an ex-dancer. She was like a Dallas Mavericks cheerleader or dance leader, whatever they call themselves. But she was not that great at this because they don't do 8 counts. They do 4 counts. What's the difference? Just do 2 4 counts. All right, Kylan and Taylor got juggling on their 3rd attempt. I was very impressed with them and the way that they work together and the way that they talk to each other. Very impressed with the way that they do that. And it kind of shows that if they can just find their navigation, that they have a chance at being good because they have a great communication and they're both athletic and they seem to work well together. Hannah and Simone nail it on the first try. They are dancers, of course. So Izzy and Paige, Hannah and Simone both nail it on their first try. Natalie, Stephanie, 5th try. Jess and Jag, 6th try. Let's see. Kylan and Taylor, 3rd try. Okay, Adam. We'll get to Adam and Joseph in a second. Kat and Alex get it on their 7th try, the dancing attempt. Jack and Chelsea get the dance on the 6th try. And Adam and Joseph set the record for the most attempts ever in the history of the Amazing Race on a task, on a detour task. 134 attempts. 134. You know who I feel sorry for? Like the intern who's got to do like the information, like they got to fact check. Could you go back to the tapes and go through all the tapes and check how many attempts they made? And then had to count every time. They had to sit there 1. Oh my god! Imagine if you mess up one, just 100. Oh my god, that'd be so bad. I feel bad for that editor, like the editor, intern editor. These guys, the poor clowns, are sitting there like, oh my god, and he has a mute, so he can't even clown them. He can't even like crack jokes. He has to be like the mute guy, so he has to just make faces. And he's like 134. Look, how many different want can you do? There's 134 of them. Go. Hannah and Simone's dancing challenge was an Amazing Race record. Why would it be an Amazing Race record if Izzy and Paige did it right the same as them? They both did it on 1 attempt, so why would it be a record? By the way, Justin, Hannah said on Twitter from the time they started the dance task, learning the instructions, and all the time they finished it, it took them 22 minutes. Thanks, Tim. So 22 minutes from the time that they started to the time that they left. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. That's probably about as much as Diana took to learn her dance task in Buenos Aires. That's probably about the same, I would guess. Right around that. I would say about 25 minutes. If you just didn't even see that, I would have said it probably took about 25 minutes. All right. So Joseph and Adam somehow, even though they set in a record for 134 attempts, get out of there in like 7th place. All right, teams must make their way to the hey there, to the what do you say there, to say the pit stop. All right, now you get to the pit stop. Obviously, the Tucker and Eric got the fast forward, making it pretty easy for them to cruise on through. So one time they went and they skipped a detour and they went to see Jeff. They went. Oh my god! They went to see Phil early, but they didn't have the fast forward, so they had to go back, do it, and then go see him again. So, and they stopped to get magnets and ice cream. This time they skipped it because they had the fast forward, went straight to Phil, and they got the victory. They seem like a fun crew. They're always in a good mood. Always stay positive. I like their attitude. I like their relationship. I think they're fun. I have fun watching them. I don't care if they say "let's go" too much. I have fun watching them because they're a positive team. All right, so Hannah and Simone went from last place to sixth place just by being great at the dance task. We had Phil says he has never seen such emotion from two teams on the mat. I would beg to differ. I'd beg to differ. I think there was a couple times that there was two teams on the mat, pretty dramatic. A lot more dramatic than that, but okay. I see you're trying to play it up, Phil. Kat and Alex just never found their rhythm. So we had Tucker and Eric, Natalie and Stephanie, very impressive. Izzy and Paige, Kylan and Tyler. All right, so let me see what this is looking like here. All right, so Natalie and Stephanie were in first place to start the leg. They got the fast forward, so that doesn't count. All right, so we won't count the fast forward that team. So Natalie and Stephanie finished in the same place they left. Jess and Jag were right behind. They fell behind because of cab drivers. So right behind them was Eric and Tucker, who eventually got the fast forward. So we'll skip them, right? And then you got Joseph and Adam, who you got basically Izzy and Paige got to third place because they nailed that dance challenge in the first try. So boom, Kylan and Taylor, they leapfrogged because they nailed both two challenges very quickly. Jess and Jag were all the way in the lead. The only reason they fell behind is because of cab drivers. Otherwise, they would have still been up in the top three. Hannah and Simone finished behind them instead of being in the back of the pack only because of the dancing challenge. You can kind of just go through every team and see exactly why they are where they are when you get to this point in the race. Joseph and Adam fell behind because 130-something attempts. Super surprised that Christina and Rabina were right behind them, and Jack and Chelsea and Kat and Alex. But, you know, I guess that's what happens when you have an hour lead. You can do a lot of attempts in an hour. So I guess the next couple to go are going to be pretty easy to see. It's going to be Jack and Chelsea, Christina and Rabina. And then we'll start to really get into it. I still think that there's kind of like a strong four at the top, strong three in the middle, and then everybody else is pretty weak. And that'll kind of play out. We'll see how it goes. If you want to do some averages, Jas and Jag have a 2.25. Tucker and Eric 2.5. Natalie, Stephanie 2.75. Izzy and Pay. Okay, so that's the top three. That's the clear top of the pack right now. And now we have a clear middle of the pack with Izzy and Paige 4.5, Joseph and Adam 5.2, Hannah, Simone 5.7, middle of the pack. Now we have a clear bottom of the pack. Christina Rabina 6.7, Jack Chelsea 7.5, Kylan Taylor 7.7. Although I think Kylan and Taylor have been stuck in the back of the pack for some weird reasons. There's never been a bunch point. I cannot see how there's not a bunch point. Even if there's not a twist, a head-to-head, a something that brings everybody a bunch point together. I'm just super surprised that there hasn't been one bunch point where everybody's been brought together. Not one this whole season. Next week, double U-turn drama. Tucker and Eric are in trouble. What? Sit and slide on some type of go-kart type of race that people are failing. Izzy is going to be a little angry right now. I'm just going to be a little angry right now. Whoa, we got trouble in paradise. Christina's crying, says she is just so tired. She's fed up. Next week, the drama continues as they go from this place to that place. Over here, they go to what? Hungary to Czech Republic. I think they go to Czech. Where do they go to Czech? Checkity, checkity, checkity one, checkity two. Yes, they're going to go from Czech Republic to Hungary, and then from Hungary to Croatia, Croatia to Romania, and that's all we know so far. So they got some interesting cities: Hungary, Croatia, Romania. That should be some interesting cities, and a lot of interesting languages that people speak there. So there could be a lot that goes on. All right, tell me who you're feeling right now. Who is going to win this amazing race right now? And did we see that there was a U-turn coming up? But we know there's a U-turn at some point. Who would you U-turn? Who's the number one team that you would U-turn right now? Who's the number one team you would U-turn? Put that in the chat right now. If you're watching it later, let me know in the comments down below. Who would you U-turn right now? You could U-turn any team. All right, here we go. All right, thank you so much, each and every one of you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for hanging out. I love, talking Amazing Race with my friends. I love being able to do what I do and have someone to do it with. I just looked down and saw the Giants somehow lost 33-32. They were winning by 3 scores with like 7. Somehow during this podcast, they just fell apart. I'm glad I didn't watch that. Oh my God, I'm so sad right now. I'm so sad. The only thing that can help cheer me up is donating money. No, I'm just joking. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out. Next week, I will start having guests again. I will start posting this again on the actual podcasting networks. I'm sorry. I've just been trying to get my house together situation and work stuff, and no excuse. Anyway, I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see y'all next week.